Hi everyone, Don't Then You Touch Tano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of the new Trippie Redd project, Neon Shark vs. Pegasus. Rapper and singer Trippie Redd is back with a deluxe edition of his album from last year, Pegasus. Basically, it's one of those deals where you get an entire other album on top of the album that you had before, which has been a pretty popular trend as of late, but what I'm hearing here is maybe the most radically different set of deluxe tracks I've reviewed in recent years. Just for a few recent frames of reference, there was Nav with the deluxe edition of Good Intentions, which just felt like another helping of the same type of mediocrity. There was also Lil Uzi Vert with Eternal Atake, whose very spacey intergalactic vibes played off of the incredibly punchy Love vs. the World 2, which he attached to it about a week later. But with Neon Shark, Trippie Redd is taking things into rock territory with drummer and producer of Blink-182 fame, Travis Barker, who's had a lot of crossovers into the hip-hop world as of late, like with Suicide Boys or even Machine Gun Kelly, who he helped transition over into a more rock sound on his latest LP. And he's doing roughly the same thing here with Trippie, but the end result is more varied than I would have expected. Neon Shark is also a much more groomed and focused project than Pegasus was too. This thing was such a slog with over 20 tracks of songs that were so riffed and uninspired. It was kind of a shock that Trippie could go as low effort as he did on that 2019 record, but somehow stretch that out for over an hour. So yes, Pegasus was kind of unfortunate given how much potential Trippie showed on his early records, but if Neon Shark versus Pegasus is a competition, Neon Shark beats Pegasus hands down, and even caves Pegasus's head in with a lead pipe. And this is the case for a myriad of reasons. Everything here seems to have a clear sense of purpose and direction. The production on these tracks is pretty tasteful as well. Not only are the mixes on this thing heavy, but Travis Barker is really putting in some fucking work on these drum fills. Take the track SeaWorld or the song Frozen Ocean. These tracks are like Travis kicking ass for 3 minutes straight. Maybe my memory is failing me, but I do not remember Travis going this hard on Machine Gun Kelly's record. There's also the bright and driving guitars on Swimming, which I thought were pretty exhilarating. We get a strong contrast on the song Female Shark, which is much more watery and spacious. Instrumentally and vocally, it sounds like a combination of, I don't know, a Rick James song, but also like Kid Cudi's Speeding Bullet to Heaven. Freaky girl! Freaky girl! And I mention this track because the whole record is respectably varied. Even though Trippie does go rock, the songs don't all blur together because you have cuts that are more pop punk, more emo, more alternative rock or metal, even grunge. So ultimately, while there's nothing too out there in the track list here, at least it's not a one-dimensional record. Plus, the way Trippie switches up his vocal inflections and intensity on Red Sky or It's Coming really shows that he gets it. He is truly channeling the intensity of a charismatic rock frontman on these tracks. He is paying attention to the ferocity that rock music of this stripe kind of needs. So yes, Neon Shark, in my opinion, is a refreshing change of pace from Pegasus, and it's even markedly better than a lot of Trippie's recent stuff. But that's not to say that this project is amazing or that it's not without its flaws. Lo and behold, I think many of the flaws of this project are the same ones that have plagued much of Trippie's recent work. For one, the vocal performances leave a lot to be desired. And listen, I know I just complimented some aspects of Trippie's singing on this project. I don't think anybody could come away from this record saying that Trippie is a boring singer or a shy singer or a singer without personality. He is certainly loud and in your face. But the performances he's trying to deliver on this project require, in my opinion, a lot more finesse than I think he has or is willing to give. Nowhere is this more apparent than on Geronimo featuring Chino Moreno of Deftones fame. The track even instrumentally kicks off in typical Deftones fashion, but but the incredible talent gap between Chino and Trippie is painfully clear by the first verse, and becomes even clearer by the blasted out chorus, which sounds like it's packed with maybe 6 vocal layers between both these guys dissonantly fighting it out for dominance. It is absolutely awful. But even when Trippie is not engaged in vocal malpractice with a guest on his record, his solo performances are falling short of the mark too. Take the song Without You, for example, which is not too much unlike many other songs here on the vocal front. Just all the auto-tune and the artificial reverbs and delays, as well as the way Trippie just holds onto his notes like a foghorn. It's just a bit much. I would say the vocals on this thing are like 65-35 in terms of being an utter miss or cathartic bliss. Then there's also the matter of the songwriting on this thing. Much of the structure that I do commend on this project really does seem to come down to just the production and the change-ups and the drums and the guitars. This is mostly an issue on the back end of the LP, where Trippie seems to, a lot of the time, just be vaguely gesturing to the idea of a song rather than a song that he has conceptualized. Take the song It's Coming, for example, which seems to be loaded with these lyrical gaps that Trippie can't be bothered to fill, and instead of saying something compelling during these parts, he's merely just like emoting, he's moaning, he's just kind of filling in air. The acoustic and nostalgic cut Leaders suffers from this issue as well. It seems like Trippie is kind of going for something where he's digging into his past a little bit, but the track isn't really all that potent at the end of the day because he doesn't really seem to have thought through what he really wants to communicate. So overall, I guess I can't really say I liked this one too much, but it still was an improvement over a lot of Trippie's recent stuff. And I suppose I come away from this project feeling a little torn because I do like a lot of the production, I do like a lot of what Travis Barker pulled off, and there are many moments where I think in terms of vocal timbre and vocal delivery, yeah, Trippie does kind of fit this style. He complements it well. But simultaneously, he also didn't really go far enough in terms of honing his vocal talents, making sure that certain vocal parts worked in the context of certain songs, and also just like writing these songs out to be something really memorable or unique, sticky. Cause yeah, there were tracks where he was vocally just going through the motions, much in the same way that he would over a generic trap beat off of his last record. Feeling a strong 4 to a light 5 on this one, Tran. Zishin, have you given this album a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like, please subscribe, and please don't cry. Hit the bell as well. Over here next to my head is another video that you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Trippie Redd, Travis Barker, forever.